Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Looks like Amazon is doing amazing today. Holy cow, almost 3.8%, my goodness. Somebody asked me to make a crane for them. And I was like, yeah. I think that was like a week ago. So here we are. I was like, I better get on that. And then somebody else is asking me to help them. It's been one of those days. I'm currently uploading videos, got some stuff going on. Okay, so what we are doing here is, somebody asked me to make a crane. So I think it was this crane here. He said it was this one. I don't even know. Let's look. Like I said, my internet sucks. So we'll go to the community here. And we'll go to, there's all these posts. And then it was a comment on a, look at all these comments. Like, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. It was, I haven't responded to. I haven't responded. Look at all these comments I haven't even responded to. All these people have reached out. I'm really, really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. So we'll remove the unresponded. Now, it was, this one here. Is this the crane? Yeah, I believe this is the crane. That this individual was looking for. Right. So, and I said I would reply to him when I got it. How long ago was that? It was 10 days ago. 11 days ago he asked for this. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll get it up for you. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Let's see if it works. I copied it. I pasted it. This is just a new, you see, my internet sucks. It's just a new one right now. So we're going to climb up here. What I'll need to do is I'll need to create a block that this thing can pick up. So we're going to go through that, okay? Yeah, this is a pretty sweet crane, actually. I'm not going to lie. So it has the seat. It doesn't function at all. It doesn't function at all. It has no code whatsoever. Oh boy. He said he was it this one? I don't know. I have to check the video out now. It is this crane. Okay, so I had started the other crane video, the modular crane. We're gonna do that after. That's gonna be really cool. Like, yeah. Sorry, as you can see, I got way too many cool things going on, and there's just not enough coolness here for everything. So, okay. So what are we gonna do? So this here is a can't collide. Is it welded? It's got a weld, right? It's not welded at all. Not welded at all. Maybe I forgot something in here. I thought this was all. That's all welded together. Is that where's this thing here? Is there a seat in here? I thought with the seat there was an interface and all this kind of stuff. It's like, there it is. Nope, no interface. Alright. So we're starting from scratch. Don't worry, it'll be, yeah, I say don't worry. It shouldn't take too long. That's what this video is going to be about. Okay, so what I also have another video that's going to be coming out too. It's about a chassis and how to make scripts for a chassis, because I see a lot of people having issues with that. Alright, so what we need to do, we need to insert an object, and it needs, in the starter GUI, we need to insert an object, a screen interface. Okay, we're going to call this crane controls. It's really important that you name every single interface, and that is because when we leave the seat, it's going to look for this interface on the player and delete it. That's the most important thing we can do, right? If otherwise, when you leave the crane, you're still going to have the interface, and all the functions are still going to be bound to the player. Now, you could say reset on spawn, and then the player will have to, when they reset themselves, they respawn, then it will clear this. But I think that's just, you're relying too much on the player. We got to do it all ourselves and let the player play. So in here we need, obviously, we need to insert an object. We need a remote event. This is going to be functions. And this actually has to go into the seat. We also need an object value. Okay, we need an object value, and we need a local script. That's it. Now a chassis works exactly the same. Okay, then on the crane we need to insert an object, and we're going to insert an actual script. Right? We're going to need two things. We're also going to right click. We want to insert object. We want a proximity prompt. And then inside the proximity prompt, we'll have code for the prompt. So we need a script. This will be button code. And this is crane code. All right. Button code, crane code, and then this is our bouton. Alrighty. Now, for the button code, we want to say local button equals script dot parent. Then we'll say button dot trigger ended. Connect function. Now, what we need to do is we want to say player, and that's going to get the name of the player that activates the button. It's very important that we do that. Very important that we do that. Okay, that sets everything up. Now what we want to do is we want to say, I believe it is, we also need to say local interface equals script dot parent. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Interface could be inside the button. It's going to be inside the seat. Inside the seat or inside the button. Inside the button. And the local script has to be disabled. That's what we have to do here. So, first thing we need to do, interface script dot parent dot crane controls. Script dot parent dot crane controls. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to say, we need to bind this value to that. So let me look to see. It's one way or the other. Either we cite the, all right, so we need to say script dot parent. No, we need to say interface. Interface dot value equals, script dot parent dot functions dot value. Script dot parent dot functions. I think that's right. Then we're going to say interface clone dot parent equals player dot player GUI. All right. So let's see if it does that. Let's see if when we sit in the seat, it clones the interface to the player. Let's try that first. Oh, something's going on. Oh, probably my slow connection. Yep. I'll be doing some other stuff in a little bit too. It takes me forever to connect to servers. So, for at least 6 more days, it's brutal. Alright, so we have the crane. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I can't see the proximity prompt, so I can't activate the proximity prompt. So the button in here, it says requires line of sight. We turn off requires line of sight. Then it can be inside another object, and you'll be able to activate it. I think the click detector is the same. I'm not 100%. But you have to make sure the click detector is in the object you want the mouse to point at, right? Surface level stuff. So if we do that, value is not a valid number of, so probably interface value is not a valid number of, oh, dot value. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, okay, when we change the value of the object value, read that. Bind that changed value to the remote event. Perfect. We have the crane controls. I guess that must be a Roblox thing. So we have the crane controls. That's cool. Okay. So the next thing we need to do, so now that we have the crane controls, what we need to do is say, functions. Let's see. This here can be enabled. First thing we'll have, okay, so we now say interface dot local script dot enabled equals true. Now, the reason why we're disabling it is because we're cloning this to the player. We're not deleting it from the crane seat and then giving it to the player. It's going to remain in the crane seat. So it's going to activate both when the player presses a button on the keyboard and when it's here in the crane seat, and that's going to throw an error. So what we need to do is after we clone it to the player, we need to disable this local script in the crane seat. So that way it only gets values from one of these interfaces. Something to be really cautioned about when you're building interfaces and you're doing that. This is really important. Otherwise, it would give you a lot of errors. So just remember that. Activate everything you need activated, clone it to the player, and then totally disable the interface here. All right, that's probably where a lot of people have a lot of problems. I don't know how else to explain that. I'm really sorry. Okay, but I'll show us through an example. So that's what that's going to do. So now we go into the crane code, okay, and then now we want to say local activate equals script dot parent dot functions. So we say activate on server event, right? Connect function, and what we need to do is we want to say player and the variable. This way we get the name of the player who's throwing the variable and the variable, so we can give players rewards here if we want to, or elsewhere, or we can track the player. This is a good way of a lot of things, okay? Now what we want to do is now we need some code. So in the local script, we want to say, we need the interface. Where is it here? We need to connect to the user input service, and then we need to disconnect from the user input service, and we need to do that when the player presses a button on their keyboard. So to do that, we need some code. I go to the vehicle script because I forget how, I don't have it memorized. So we'll take that code, paste it there. That's all we need. All right, and we'll get rid of this one here. This was just a little car I was working on, and this is what gave me the player. I think it's game.player.local player. Let me look. Oh my goodness. I guess I needed all the variables, not half of them. Come on. Come on, man. You need all of it. Don't you dare. No, what's... There we go. Now that I've finished copying and pasting, let's get rid of that. Okay, so what we've done now is we said, what's the value that we want to change? It's this value here. See, the object value has a value which we can assign to things. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign it to variables. So in this case, we are going to say, when you press W, go. And when you stop pressing W, it's going to throw the variable go stop. All right, so then in our crane code, we need to say if variable is equal to go, then, and so what's going to happen is this, so what's happening is, okay, let me back this up and explain it. So we bound the value of this to this function, okay? So when we press W, it's going to throw this value. It's going to say this value is going to be the word go. And the remote event, for whatever reason, however it works, however the remote event works, it's going to say, they're throwing the word go. Right? So here we're going to say, look, the player is pressing the button. And the variable he's sending us is go. So what are we going to do when it presses go? Okay. I know, it doesn't really... So this, oh, I see. This is part of... That's got no welds. And that's got no welds. So how is it? It must be anchored. One of these must be anchored, right? Yeah, that's anchored. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we need to create a pivot. So this can pivot. So we need to go to model and constraint. A hinge. No, not a hinge. Angular velocity. Interesting. No, then we have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay, so basically we're just gonna, we'll do this old school. We'll just make it into a hinge. And we're gonna go from here to here. And basically we'll take this one and we'll move it so it's like semi, I don't know, what was that? Right there probably, that's probably center. So we'll take this position and we'll take this first position. Okay, there we go. Now we have the hinge constraint. So the hinge constraint, we're gonna put all this inside the seat. And we will, you know, here we're gonna right click, insert, object, insert a folder. We're going to call this constraints. All right, everything that we have is going to go in there, everything that we activate. So hinge constraint, we can just call this main pivot. I'm not answering that. Main pivot. I'm in the middle of a video. We'll get a nasty text later. Hey, I called you. That one's not anchored, it's just welded. Okay. So when we press the button, what's going to happen? We are going to say script.parent .constraints .main pivot, which is the main pivot. Now we got to turn this into a motor. It's easier this way. We'll turn it into a motor. We'll say, do we want limits enabled? You can enable its rotation. I don't think we're going to limit the rotation. Let's let it go 360. And then we just need to turn the angular velocity. Make sure acceleration is set to infinite, especially if you're going to use weight. Hello, Maestro. I guess that's maximum. Come on. There you go. There you go. There you go. You can purr. You can purr for us. Sorry, I was getting a cat attack now. Alright. Alright. Yo, gotta get the angular velocity. Main pivot. Dot angular velocity equals 1. Alright, so when we press W, our angular velocity should equal 1. Now, on the local script, we have the user input service. We need to connect to it, and we need to make sure we disconnect to it. We disconnect to it by reading when the player ends the input and when they start the input. It's almost the same as like when you click your mouse button, and you can have a function when you first click the mouse button, and you can have a function when you stop clicking the mouse button. It's really neat. So you can make dual function buttons. You can do all kinds of neat stuff. Let's test this out. Now, I don't know if he said he wanted it as just the model that doesn't function. So what I'll do is I'll make just the cat. I'll make just the model that doesn't function. Oh, there you go. So I pressed W and it started to spin. Let's see. Now I realize when it's spinning, all this needs to be more, more forwards. No. Yeah, it almost needs to be like that in order for it to spin. All right, so then what we're going to do is, wow, 30 minutes already. So we're going to do go stop as well. Real simple. Then the last thing I want to do is I just want to build a block. When you click on the block, it connects to the crane, and then you can lift the block up and down. Really simple stuff from maybe pressing the up arrow and the down arrow. And that's our crane. And then maybe I'll have a couple of buttons for the lights and a couple other functions on there. Yeah. And then you can take it, you can expand it, you can do whatever you need to do with it. Oh, I wonder if those must be collidable. Is this anchored? It is. My cat's taking notes. You taking notes, Bim? You watching? Yeah, like I say, when I first got him, he just kind of wanted to be all by himself, and now he's so cuddly. You know? It's good. It means he's happy, right? He's turned around, he's happy. Okay, so that is all of that. Now when I get inside this thing, it should all spin properly. Oh yeah, there we go. How cool is that? My cat's watching it spin. So now if we press S, it'll go backwards. And so on and so forth. We just copy that and we paste that there, and then that can be a -1. This can be go back. It's really easy, you know, really easy variables. Then what do we need? We need 2 more up. We can turn this to S. All right, so when you're making local scripts for a chassis, this is exactly how you do it. But there's a little bit of a kind of a different setup when it comes to the local script on the car. So now I should be able to, oh, no, I saw an error there. That was you. Did you see the cat, eh? Just when I was about to press play, he pressed 0 on the keyboard. No one will ever believe me. Oh yeah, see, it moves before I'm even in the crane. So now, if we look at the crane and we look at the local script, you see how it's disabled? So let's explain why we want to disable the local script. Let's get rid of this. All right. Now what's going to happen is the interface is going to be cloned onto the player, and we're going to get functions from the player, but we're also going to get functions from the seat in the workspace. And we're going to start to get errors because of that. Oh, maybe it didn't give me any errors. Okay, maybe that was something else. Alrighty, well, never mind then. So now let's see what happens if I get out of here. I still have it, and then if we delete the crane controls, if we delete that, oh, it got rid of it. Interesting. Cool. Okay, well, never mind. Never you mind. I thought it must have just been a bug I experienced in the past. Okay. So now we can, like I say, now we can add lights. We can start to bind more, and we can adapt this crane. Now the person that wanted it, I think he said he just wanted it just as the model. So before I go too far, what we're going to do is we're going to just package this one together as a crane. We are going to, yeah, we got to group it as a model, and then we need to convert to a package. Oh yeah, I gotta save it to Roblox. Crane, tower crane. Has basic controls. There we go, just like that. And weld the arm. Developer item, and we'll say it's a model. Creator me, perfect, just like that. We'll save it. We're gonna press the off button. Were you gonna press the off button on my monitor? All right, we'll see if it's here. Whenever I'm able to connect. And we'll get rid of that tab. That might speed me up a little bit. I can reply. Oh, whoops. No, not that one. This item is currently not for sale. Hold on a second here. Models. Oh, I gotta log in. Is that why I know what's going on? Creations. That's cool. Free car on fire, yeah. Hold on, this is taking way too long. Did I mess up? Yeah, there we go. Open in studio. Okay, so now we're gonna copy this and we're gonna reply to the comment. Where was it? Right here. There you go. Okay. So now what I can do is we're going to continue on because this is for the modern crane. Anyways, whatever. Let's continue on now. Let's see. We will duplicate it. Get rid of that one. This one here. I guess I could just save it as a different model when I'm done. Okay, so we're working on the controls. We have the crane functions. The other thing we need to do is I just need to build a little transparent window, which also is going to tell the player what the controls are when they're inside this. The other thing we need is we need this thing to go forwards and backwards, right? So we'll get rid of the weld constraint. What we need to do now is we need to insert a what's called a prismatic constraint. It's basically an elevator. And it's going to tell this thing to go from there to there. But what we want to do is we want to take this part's position. And we need to copy it. Oh man, my leg is going numb. My leg is going numb. Babe, my leg is going numb. Oh, we'll take this constraint. We'll put it in here. And then we need to set it up as my foot is going numb. A motor. Okay, man, hold on. Oh, gotta change positions. Oh. What? He didn't like that. All right. So we'll say the limit's enabled. If we change the upper limit to 50, we're gonna have to rotate this thing around. There we go. Now the upper limit on this constraint should be like maybe double that, maybe 200. $300. $300 is too much. Yeah, 160 works. Okay. So now that we have that established, our upper limit is 160. So now all we need to do is just change the velocity. And we can do the exact same thing. So W and S makes it spin. Likely we'll change that. Like I'd like to change that to the up arrow. And then this is going to be the down arrow. And then we want to have the left arrow and the right arrow. So now we're going to do the pivot. Or that's the pivot. Now we're going to do the other part, right? So this one's going to be left. And this one's going to be right. So now I just say there we go. And in the crane controls, now we're going to say dot main pivot. This will be the prismatic. Dot prismatic constraint. And we're going to say dot velocity instead of angular velocity. Dot velocity. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to calibrate it with weight. Right? We need to allow it to lift weight. But let's just test this part. Nice. Oh, that's the camera. Up and down. Wait. Wait. So maybe W, S, A, and D probably. Alright. Just so that way we don't W, S. A and D could be. Oh, I got this. You know, I got this backwards actually. Because this is our pivot. So this should be D. And this should be A. There we go. And then this should be W, and the other one should be S. Perfect. Now, crane code. Now let's try it out. Now, I don't know if we can do velocity of -1. I'm not sure if we can do that with the prismatic. Goes so slow. Oh, I have it in the wrong direction. Alright, I have it in the wrong direction. So that's okay. So we'll take this, rotate it. Now it'll go the other way, and then we'll have to change the velocity. The speed is so slow. It'll have to be like 5. Yeah, this is what I have to do to the modular crane, and then the modular crane, when we put it together, that's going to be neat. That's going to be neat. Alright, so we'll interact. There we go. Decent speed also. Then what we're going to need to do, right, maybe I need to change the camera angles a little bit. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because you see how the camera wants to rotate around that? When we're in there, the first person doesn't want to follow. So I'll have to figure out how to get it to do that. So there's all that fine tuning, you know? The player experience tuning. Cool. So that's cool. So that pivots. This might even need to be a little bit faster. All right, so now the last thing we need to do is we need to have a block that we can raise. There we go. All right. So, I know in the past, ropes have always been kind of a iffy issue. So, let me see here. What we want in here, we want 4 attachments. All right, let's see here. 1, 2. All right, let's get this going. Restart. Holy moly. Holy moly, 45 minutes just to make a crane. Okay, so now we got that. So in here, what we're going to do, we need to insert an object. I'm just going to insert a click detector. And then we're going to insert some code. Insert object code. Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to say local button equals script parent click detector. I'm going to say button dot activated dot mouse click yeah, dot mouse click connect function there. All right, and then what is it going to do? So now what we need to do is we need to name, let's say this crane is just sitting in the workspace. Okay, this is going to be based on that. This is going to be lift part. This is going to go inside the seat. Inside there. All right. And then you're going to call this crane whatever. Crane coolness. Yeah, there we go. Crane coolness. You can name it whatever you want. So the whole idea behind this is that, so this script here will show and explore. This is going to be our connect script. All right, what's it going to do? It's going to say, oh, and then we need 4 attachments in here. So we need to go insert object. Attachment. So we can either attach all 4 ropes to one attachment. That might actually work out pretty good. That might work out actually. Yeah, okay. This will be ropes. So when we click on this guy here, we're going to say local crane equals game. We're going to say get service, workspace, find first child. What do we call it? Crane coolness. Okay, so it's going to look for this crane coolness or whatever you call the crane. It's going to look for it. All right. So then we're going to say crane dot crane Dot seat. Dot constraints. Dot lift part. Dot ropes. Now this is going to be local anchor. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to say instance dot. We're going to say local ropes equals instance dot new ropes rope constraint. Yeah, we'll go. So there's going to be a few things here. We're going to connect the ropes to the crane, and then there's going to be a button on the interface that you'll be able to press to disconnect the ropes. That's what's going to happen here. Okay, ropes. So this is going to create the ropes, rope constraint, and I'm going to say script.parent. So in the lift part, it's going to create the ropes, and then we're going to say ropes dot attachment 0 equals script dot parent dot. Oh, this is the connect script equals crane dot crane dot seat dot lift part dot constraints dot lift part oh wait equals anchor ropes dot attachment 1 equals script dot parent dot attachment. Now there's 4 attachments in here, so this needs to be A, because we're going to make 4 different ropes. And then we need to say ropes dot length equals 200, and then we need to say ropes dot visible equals true, ropes dot size. Is that what it is? Let's see. Insert object rope constraint dot thickness equals 0.2. What else do we need? Ropes dot winch enabled. Is that right? Yeah. Ropes dot winch enabled equals true. All right. And then in the crane, we'll see. I'm still not too sure how this is all going to work. So this is one rope. Two, 3, 4, and then we're going to name this, right? We can say ropes dot name equals A equals yeah, AA see if this works. Is that right? We just have to do that? No, it says Because it'll be a rope constraint, right? Ropes.name. I wonder if that has to be here. No, it's giving me the same error. Why is that? Why is it doing that? Oh, is that? Yeah, but it's rope constraint. Yeah, that's weird. Ropes. Not name. It's giving me an error on that. Does it have to be a local? Maybe it has to be a local. Yeah, it's never initialized. I don't know why it's giving me an issue over the name of it. I don't even know. Let's just see if it'll create the rope first. Let's just try that. I don't know why it's giving me an issue. Just doing just too much lately, I think. All right, so the click detector's in here. Attachment is not a valid workspace number. Script of parent dot a. Cool. So it attached one rope. But is it just called rope? I don't know why I can't. Yeah, it's just called rope movement. How come I can't change the name? How come I can't change the name of it? Oh, I'm so dumb. There we go. Duh, gotta put it in quotes. Gotta put it in quotes. Can't just leave it. Silly me. It's silly me. Like I say, just do too much. Okay, so now it should be in there and it should be named AA. Perfect. The reason why that's important is so that way we can delete it. This would be our mission reward. We lift it up, we move it over, we plant it down, it deletes that, and then deletes the ropes that are in it, right? Easy peasy, simple stuff. All right, so now we need to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, B, C, D, and then this should be CC. All right, let's see if that works. So you get 4 different ropes. Yes, 4 different ropes. And then inside the part, A, B, C, and D. All right. So here's where it gets kind of a little confusing. We're going to change the location of where it makes these ropes. Instead of making them here, it's going to make them inside the lift part. So what we're going to do is say, instead of script.parent, we're going to say anchor.parent. And that way, from the crane, we can easily find the ropes and we can use them as winches. Whereas, because hear me out, if this is part of a mission, this object we're going to be spawning into the game, it's going to be the player's name's mission part. That's how I would track it, track the rewards, blah, 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 blah. So when it comes to coding this part, when we click on it, we have to be able to find the player's name's mission part. That code isn't in this part of the game because I have to publish it and do all that. So we're making this really, really simple. I would consider changing it because this is highly vulnerable. I wouldn't just add it as is to your game and think it's going to work. You'll have to add additional code to it. And where are we at on this? We're at an hour again. So let's quickly do this. So it's going to create those into here. Then what we want to do is we want to, when we press a button, we want the winches to go up and down. That's it. All right. So let's get that part going. Up and down, we could say maybe, I'll use N. N and M. N is up. And M, I don't know. I could use the, there's so many keys to use, whatever. So this is going to be up. Up, stop. And this is going to be down. Down, stop. Okay, then we have our crane code. Same thing, we take this, we got our variables. Down. Down, stop. No, up, stop. Down, down, stop. All right. So now, when we are just going to insert a rope constraint here, just because I want to look at the properties. When we have a rope constraint and we say winch enabled, winch, there's the winch force. So in here, winch enabled true, we need to say ropes dot winch force equals infinite. That's going to give us all the lifting power we need. And then we'll say ropes dot winch speed. Because we're just setting it up equals 0. And then we want to say winch target, ropes, yeah. So winch target equals 10. That'll be our minimum. No, we don't want to do that because then it will, we don't want winch target equals 200, which is the length of the ropes. Otherwise, it's going to connect and it's going to try and pick up the object right away. And we don't want to do that. Maybe there's some more stuff we want the player to do. You know, unhook the stuff. This is all part of the game, right? This is all part of the game. So then in the crane code, what we need to do is we need to say local if rope equals script dot parent dot seat dot seat dot constraints. I think that's where it is. Yeah, dot constraints dot lift part, and then we need to say wait for child AA. And then we need to say if AA, then, no, if rope, then. Do we, sure, we could try that. Rope dot winch speed equals 1. We could try that. 1, let's see, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. There we go. And I want to change this to like 5. And we also need it. So it'll stop. All right, let's just try that. Let's see if we've done that correctly. Oh, I'm a noob! My internet is so bad. I'm a Roblox noob. Ah! All right. Roblox noob. Oh, you know what? Okay, so now we have the interface. M is... I thought N was up. Alright, let's go higher. It went out. Winch target 200. Maybe that's why. Maybe we don't need this for now. And in here, winch speed 5, but we also need to say rope dot winch target equals 10. This has to be in here. That way it has a direction, right? Which way do we go? And then this way we don't have to change the speed to -5. We just change the winch target to 200. All right, so if this works, this is going to be the end of this video. It was a long video. It's an hour video. Some coding, and some playing around. I am now going to have a little bit of lunch here, and then I'm going to help these individuals who asked me early this morning for help. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. I got the computer up, done everything else but that. So I better get that going. Let's see. So I'm in the seat. Get in there. Okay, so I have the, what is it? It was N. It looks like they're getting longer. Well, see them? Only one is getting nice. How do you like that, though? That's cool. See, with all 4, it's not going to move around in the way that it does. So, but I don't know why. Oh, this is so cool. I don't know why the other ones didn't. Let's see. Oh, that's probably why. All right, well, I just have to check it out. I have to change the variables here. Yeah, hour and 11 minutes here. Let's do that really quickly, and just so I can lift it up to show you guys that it works. Wasn't the connect strip? It was crane code. What am I looking at? There we go. And then we got. All right, let's see if this works. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Before I get another phone call. Hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be working. And I worked all weekend. And I got work to do this evening. And I'm working. Yeah, I'm working. I'm working real hard. Boss calls. Hey, check the keyboard. I'm pressing buttons. And my mouse is moving. See, I'm doing work. All right, so let's see if this is going to work. If this works, this is going to do it. Oh, look at that. All four of them are tightening at the same time. Yes. We have successfully built a crane. Oh, yeah, you'll see it. Look at it's far more stable. You see, it's far more stable. Nice. And then if I don't choose a single pivot, if I make those connect to 4 individual constraints, it'll be even more, we'll have even more control over the object. Very, very cool. So thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. This is the crane video part. I don't know, whatever. I'll see you later.